That seems like a great place to start, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, fire away. Love the music, getting in the groove of SketchUp Live. So, hey everybody, happy that you're here on a Friday. It is Friday. It is SketchUp Live Day. Of course, we do these live streams each and every week, and usually, hold on, I think I have the stream playing in the background here.
You getting an echo of yourself?
Yeah, I was like, I don't need to hear that. But anyways, yeah, what a great stream we have hopefully planned for you today. Aaron is not here. He's normally in the modeling seat. Of course, we had a guest modeler last week with Eric Sargent, and what a stream it was. If you didn't catch that one, go check it out on our YouTube channel. Brilliant use of a terrain modeling with an extension called Polygon Landscape. But today, we're going to do something totally different. So my name is Matt. I'm the host for the stream today, and with me is my co-host Donovan. How you doing today, Donovan?
I'm good. I'm ready to hang out and model some. What do we call it? St- Static? No, something urbanism. What was the word?
I believe it's tactical urbanism,
Tactical urbanism. That's what
which
it was.
a term I was not familiar with before nigh on a few days ago.
Mm.
So I'll talk about how I found it, what the idea with is with it, and kind of my approach to what I'm going to do today too. So yeah, let us know where you're coming in from. Of course, I'm going to try to read the. I have the chat on the side here, so I'll be watching and chiming in to everybody. So thanks. I did see also one comment that I wanted to address on the forum thread from Ahmad said I look like I'm wearing pajamas. Which, hey, that's fair. I work at home, man. I could wear a pajama. This is not a pajama shirt. It could be. I could sleep in the shirt, certainly. But yeah, hey, getting nice and cozy and comfy here on SketchUp Live. So I hope you guys are wearing pajamas at home or wherever you are watching this from. Um, you got the SketchUp shirt on today, Donovan. You sleep in
I
that? Is
do.
that a pajama shirt for you? Yeah.
No. Well, I mean, it could be. I do sleep in just some Japanese style, bottoms and then a t-shirt. So those are my jammas. So this technically could be pajamas.
Okay, I love to hear it. Japanese style bottoms. That's a good call. Maybe I need to start adopting that into my sleep workflow.
They're very
Um,
comfortable.
I believe it. It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Also, I've got the large cold brew here today. You can hear a little ice jingling, I think, on the mic, but I need it. The reason I was out, so I was out for a couple months because I had a child, or my wife had a child, and I was there. But parental leave, so still got a little one at home. He was up last night a lot, so coffee it is for me today. So I apologize for the ice sounds ahead of time. But
It's all right.
Starbucks, they use SketchUp at Starbucks, so it's thematic. It's tactical.
Yeah. Yeah. Good
Going along with the
good
theme.
brand representation there. A partner.
Yeah.
Speaking of partners, we got people coming in to us from Vancouver, Canada. We got people coming in from Devon, UK, from Kongsberg, Norway, from Newfoundland, from Seattle, from Dubai, from South Wales, from Kerala. Is that how you say that?
I don't see it, but I trust your
Turks
pronunciation as much as
Island
mine.
is another one. I don't know where that is. Tucson, Arizona. We got people asking what 3D mouse you're using. We can talk about that too. Yeah, worldwide audience like it is every week. It's kind of amazing how many people show up for these.
Love to see it. Yeah, I'm astonished, and hopefully I can deliver some valuable SketchUpping here today. David says new to SketchUp and trying to learn how to use for designing woodworking projects. That's cool. Yeah, that's definitely a thing. A lot of woodworkers use is SketchUp for their designs, their plans. Donovan, you would know something about
Yep,
that. Yeah.
I am said person. I am said woodworker.
Yeah, reach out to
So
Donovan directly, and he can give you a tutorial, or just search the YouTube channel for woodworking, and there's a lot there too. But anyways, yeah, today's stream. Let's get to it. We're already 4 minutes in.
yeah.
So yes, the topic of today's stream. I kind of struggled a little bit with the topic of today's stream, like coming up with an idea for it, because I like to have one thing I like about SketchUp is being used as kind of a storytelling tool, right? Being able to visually communicate with spatial relationships and whatever kind of thing you're trying to communicate using SketchUp. Um, but I wanted to have something that was like, kind of relevant or like pertinent, I guess, something that was kind of a real world example. Um, and so I thought I do. So I live close by to Grand Rapids, Michigan, and so I wanted to do something urban, something with the city, um, and I was struggling to find something good. But then I came across. If you want to share my screen, I was walking through the city just the other day and found some examples of these temporary bus stops, which I thought were very cool. Let me find a good shot of it here. So, the idea with this and with tactical urbanism in general, the idea is that, um, you know, for municipalities or for local governments to try to make an infrastructure change, which might be beneficial to the community, but it's hard to quantify how how useful that change would be, and it's there's bureaucracy, so it's kind of slow moving stuff. You want evidence to kind of prove the value of something before you commit to spending public dollars on it. The idea of this tactical urbanism, and there's other terms for it as well, but whether it's like community driven or it could be driven by the by the local government as well, is you see an opportunity for a potential long-term change that you'd like to make, but maybe the will is not there yet, or the data is not there. So you kind of have these temporary solutions that are lower in cost, that sort of are an MVP, right? A minimum viable product solution for your particular problem that you're trying to solve for. And so that can take many forms, but in this case, it was these kind of temporary bus stops, which, so my design narrative that I came up with is that, saw the opportunity, put this temporary bus stop in place, and now we're making the case for kind of a full scale bus stop at this spot. This is right by the Children's Museum in Grand Rapids, so suppose this was well adopted. There was a lot of people that started using this stop because of this temporary measure in place, and so we want to put a proper piece of infrastructure here. What would that look like, right? To present to the city council, for instance, or something. I don't know. I like to have a story,
Yeah.
even if it's a made up story.
No, it's a good story, and one that is a little bit more widespread. John just chimed in and said these temp solutions popped up during COVID in my town.
Yeah, this kind of thing. I know a lot of like local businesses also did kind of patios or stuff outside, or they like shut down streets and did this. So the same kind of thing could be applicable for that, not just this. But yeah, totally. That definitely saw that a lot during that time frame. And at first I was like, well, so I looked up this particular company. I saw this referenced on a post that was by the city. This company is called Zikla, that does these particular bus stop solutions, and they do other stuff too, bike lanes and things of this nature. But I was like, well, they have 3D models of their their pieces online, so maybe I could download those, show how I kind of prepped them for SketchUp, and then like find a spot that I think would benefit from putting these in, and then show that process. But all the spots that I found in the city that seemed like they would be good spots to put them in, already had them. And I'm like, well, it wouldn't really make sense to model it and then match a photo of something that's already there. So good on you.
Just do our own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For getting these, what you're doing, turns out. But yeah, so I thought I would go to an existing bus stop. Let me go back to those photos. So this is a different bus stop in the city. But I would, in my design story that I have in my head, this is the type of bus stop that they would put at this stop with that much traffic, and so this is what we want to visualize for community presentations or whatever. So I took a couple photos of this. I'm going to use these as reference images, and then use match photo at the end to kind of put this stop in situ, in place of one of these photos that I took of the kind of temporary solution that I'm gonna propose with this new bus stop. So that's the kind of approach. Randy doesn't like the design of the bus stop.
Because it looks like a phone.
Hey, maybe it doubles, if somebody needs to make a call and they're low on battery.
I think that's more a reflection of the fact that all of our phones look the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he's talking about this one here.
Oh, that one. Yeah. The
Yeah.
upside down phone. Yeah.
Yeah. Put it down. There's more important things. Hey, talk to people. You don't need to be on your phone all day. Bus stop.
What's the phrase? Go touch grass?
Exactly.
Go touch
Yeah.
grass. Yeah.
Yeah, there is a park right across the street from this. So you could get off at this bus stop, go across the street, and touch some grass. So let's do that right now. Yeah, first step is importing reference images. One thing I should say also is, like I said, I've been out for a couple months. I've also not used SketchUp in a couple months, which
understandably.
Yeah, hopefully my idea is let's weave this into my design narrative here. I write all these twisted tales that I tell myself, but I think that's probably a common experience for people as maybe you have some 3D modeling experience in the past, and then your skills, you don't have as much use for it, and then all of a sudden there's this scenario where, oh, this would be cool to communicate something in 3D, and then you have to hop back in and kind of relearn what you have forgotten. So that's what I'll be doing today. So if there's other ways to do stuff, please let me know in the chat, and I'll try to keep up on it. And let's get into it. Yeah, so reference images is the first thing. So let's go back to these. I have some that are more like kind of showing the entire, not the entire, but larger portions of the bus stop itself, and then some that are more the details. So I'll just do the ones that are larger scale right now for the whole kit and caboodle, as it were.
People keep chiming in the comments saying congrats, Matt. Congrats, by the way. Go, Matt, go.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun hanging with the little guy. So, but I'm happy to be back too.
Little guys at this point, right?
Yeah, I got two little guys. So they're both at daycare right now. And
hence why you're able to do this right now.
That's right. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to give my undivided attention to this bus stop if it were not for the very helpful people at my kids' daycare.
Kegi says, you'll be fine, Matt. It's like riding a bike. You get on, pedal a little bit, fall off, get back on again, try again.
Yeah. And no training wheels today. Not today. So hopefully my movements are not as jerky as, well, they're going to be a little bit jerky with a 3D mouse, but hopefully they're not super bad. Okay, so my main approach, I think, is going to be starting kind of from the ground up, meaning this base first, which I counted in paces as I was walking past, was 20 paces from one end to the other, walking this way. So
have you measured your pace so that you know about how many feet that is?
I thought about it, and I didn't, unfortunately.
Okay.
So we're just gonna have to estimate. But I think this is about 50 feet long, this entire thing. And then, yeah, so anyways, let's get into the actual 3D portion of the modeling session. Why don't we? So
That is why we're here.
rectangle, 50 feet. And I think if I'm looking at this, like just this top portion, because there's this ramp that we'll have to do too, is about 7 feet deep, 8 feet deep. I'm going to start off with 7 and see how we go. 50 feet, comma, 7 feet.
We'll just say we have creative liberties. This doesn't have to be exact.
Thankfully.
Thanks.
I'm happy for that.
I do have to say, almost every single model that we have modeled here on SketchUp Live, I don't think has been turned into any kind of physical thing. Right?
There were some helmets a while ago that got 3D printed that Aaron made.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 18 inches height. Oh, boy.
Ooh, John says
Get used to it.
measure it on Google Maps.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, why don't we just add location real quick to see what that looks like? We've got it. We've got the tools at our disposal. So let's
We
use them.
have the technology.
Okay, so this bus stop that I took a picture of was by Rosa Parks Square, Rosa Parks Circle, and it's right here. So let's give it a shot. Texture, flat, no. I guess I just need the bus stop, right? I don't really need. It looks like it's kind of occluded by this building. Well, let's see. Okay. Yeah, so...
Ish? I guess you do have kind of
If
a
this
building
is-
in the way.
If this is halfway... Where's my... There we go. 30? Is my 50 about right? Maybe it's 60 feet? I don't know. It's hard to tell because you can't, with this resolution, you can't tell if it was taken at an angle, you know? Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go with my, turn this off. With my original 50-foot guy here, and just go with that. We're going with that. We're moving forward because we're 15 minutes in and we have one box. Oh boy. Okay, I gotta go fast here. Okay, so on the back you can see there's this ramp, and it goes not quite to the very end of that platform, and there's this kind of opening in the back with this flat landing here. So let's see, I'm going around this way. I'm going to go from the middle, and how big do we think that landing is? Like 8 feet, 10 feet? Wow. Does 3D generator by image generate buildings, or how far can it be if you already try it? 3D generator by image. Are you talking about Match Photo? If you are, yeah, just look up Match Photo on our YouTube channel. There are some good resources on there. There's not really a good... I mean, I guess if you're looking to get buildings, Add Location has 3D buildings, depending on where you are in the world, that you can import from there. But, you know, they're more like for context. They're not like super high detailed. So if you are looking for more detail, you would probably either have to model it or do a match photo solution. So yeah, look up
Yeah.
on our YouTube channel, match photo.
I was studying a little bit of SketchUp history and found out the main reason why Google bought SketchUp in the first place was that they wanted people to generate buildings or design buildings for this new product they had called Google Maps. And so they bought SketchUp with the intent and hope that people would model the buildings in their cities or towns or whatever is nearby them to populate this new mapping technology that Google had. And so that's how SketchUp became part of I want to say Google verse, but part of the Google pantheon at the time. So,
Yeah, true. And then with like LiDAR and other ways of creating 3D on Google Maps, they didn't need SketchUp anymore. So that's when Trimble acquired it. And yeah, added a lot more investment. The SketchUp team had been kind of spun off because there was not so much use for crowdsourcing 3D buildings anymore. So
yeah.
happy to be at Trimble now, where the value is seen outside of just that.
I have a
You can make
friend that
bus stops
hadn't
with it.
used SketchUp in a while, and he's like, "Yeah, but is it really that much different from SketchUp 2017?" And I was like, "Oh, you have no idea."
Yeah, you're missing out.
I did talk him into renewing his subscription for SketchUp, so he's up to date.
Okay, you love to see it. Okay. If we look at this, that's only.
Ooh, Lawrence says he did a
couple
few
feet away from the
buildings early on Google Earth.
Okay. I think to make this ADA compliant, I'm going to double check this. It has to be 1 to 12 ratio. So just to check that, maybe there's a better way to do this. I'm going to use the rotate tool. And then I believe I can just go 1 to 12. If I move this back in place. Okay, so this needs actually to be a little bit longer.
John says there wasn't much of a call for SketchUp X-Wing fighters on Google Maps.
True. Unfortunately, that would have made them a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so this back part has like a curb coming up and then this railing. So let's see. Guess I'll just.
Ooh, Lawrence says my model of Longleat hedge maze is still there. That's cool. That's a legacy model at this point, right?
Yeah. Also, one thing that I'll say here is that I know urban design has like a lot of standards for how tall curbs are, how much of a angle there is on the ramps and stuff. I'm not an urban designer, so I apologize. Probably these are not up to code, but this is just for visualization purposes. Bring it all back to my design narrative in my head where it's just for visualization. So if you see anything that's wrong, that's the reason. And also because I don't know what I don't know.
Safi says I'm an architecture student, so building modeling takes a long time for my site plan, and my school is about to start site modeling the easy way. This would be great. That would be great.
Yeah, I will say if you just need like photo texture details, then Match Photo does a really good job. But you can also use SketchUp, once you get somewhat proficient at it, to add a lot of detail really quickly. So check it out. Okay, let us see what we're doing next. Just going to go for these. Yeah, the word that pertains to the idea of whatever that is. A railing. Oh boy. Yeah, I haven't
Words and
also
stuff with things.
since I've been out. I also haven't really talked to grown-ups too much. So yeah, if you want like talking to a 2-year-old, I have that on lockdown. But to YouTube audience is a little harder for me to come up with the right words for. So apologize for that. Let's actually make this 6 inches. Oops. Come on. I do want to add a guide. 6. Okay, and looks like it's actually pretty close to the side. Whoa. Sorry. Excuse me. 3. Okay, so I'm making the base of these guys just with a circle. And I'll go, let's do a 4-inch or a 2-inch radius, so a 4-inch circle. And just gonna use the modifier key. Go ahead.
Sven made a good recommendation. Don't forget about SketchUp Campus. Yes, SketchUp Campus.
Always. Yeah, SketchUp Campus is the place to go for in-depth training on SketchUp.
Ooh. And Transom says save.
Very good. Very good. Even though we're half an hour in, I'm not not really far, but still I'd like to save it with the progress I have here. Bus stop live. Should have called it tactical urbanism. Stay on name. But anyways, okay, I'm gonna make this a component. This is rail base. And I think there was 4 across the back of here. Maybe that should be a little bigger actually. Two, 5. And move. And I'm going to use the modifier with move here to, which one is it? Command, cycle through grip types to get the bottom middle. There. And then I'll use, copy modifier over to this side and say divide 3 to make 4. And now I need a line for my railing itself.
Sven says the one who saves last laughs. Laughs last. Yes?
I think I get
Laughs
that. Yeah.
last. The one who saves last laughs. Words with stuff and things. The one who saves last laughs. Am I saying it right, Sven?
Okay, you just need to read it.
Yeah. I thought I was.
I mean, like, you don't have to say it out loud. Everybody in the chat, you can just read for yourself. What's going on here? I want to draw up, vertically. That's weird. There we go. I don't know how tall railings are. 42 inches. Looks about right. Draw it over on the red, and then I'll snap to this guide, and then down to here. And I think there's a little like curve on this, so I'm going to use tape measure. Nope. And again, vertically, I'm using the up arrow to lock vertically. 6. And then just our regular arc tool, which I switched the sides to 6, so it's not so many polygons. Get that magenta inference and double click to round that off. And then this looks like a pretty hefty, pretty sturdy railing here. So I'm going to go with a 3-inch 1.5 radius. Triple click to select all this stuff and weld it. not that. Weld and follow me, and there's that. And let's make this a group. I'm also gonna turn X-ray on and go in. Why is that not? Oh, because it's outside the group, maybe? Yes.
John, when are we gonna have Donovan model? The problem, we've actually talked about this. The issue is that I mainly model on iPad. I am one of the few people that rarely uses the desktop version of SketchUp, and so I am way more proficient on the iPad. And we've talked about different ways we could try to set it up so that it's not such a boring stream watching someone model on an iPad, but we haven't quite cracked that code. So when we do, we'll get it figured out. We have to figure out some sort of like overhead camera rig to get it close enough so it's not just mainly a desk, but that it's, you know, actually the iPad with, you know, with the pen, and you can see what I'm doing and all that kind of stuff. So when we get that figured out, I'll model live.
Yeah, I'd love to have you in the hot seat someday. Always cool to see different, different approaches and different ways of doing stuff. Because certainly I'm not the same level of, or the same type of modeling probably as Aaron is. And I'm sure you're not same as me. So
this is true.
Especially being on iPad. I think that would be cool.
I also use a lot of the scan to design and LiDAR technology that the iPad uses, because a lot of what I do is based on elements in the real world. And so I utilize the technology that I have to make that process easier. And it's kind of hard to show that on a live, but we'll figure it out.
That would be cool though.
Safety, is that how you say it right? Says, have you guys, while you're modeling, think about, am I over detailing this project? Because this is a comment I get a lot from my teachers talking about all of the small details.
I would probably say it depends on what your end goal is, what the deliverable is, what you're trying to, communicate. If it's like architectural details, you want super detailed models because the difference of a, eighth of an inch matters greatly in making sure everything is put together right. But I mean, honestly, like for instance, the model I'm doing now, that's more for like visualization, you're going to not see a super high level of detail, partly due to the time constraint, partly due to my level of skill in 3D modeling. But yeah, I think it depends on what you're doing it for. So if it's for, I said from your teachers, yeah. So it depends on what the type of project that you're modeling for school is.
Mm-hmm. My philosophy is overkill is underrated. So, you want to add details, man, add details.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing wrong with, at least hopefully it doesn't slow down your model too bad. That would be the downside. But I mean, if the model's still performant, we need solid tools for this to intersect all these. Sometimes I just love modeling with outer shell because, let's see, get in here and fix this.
John says, I always over model, over detail my models. That's the fun. You're not wrong. That is the fun.
Yeah, agreed. It's fun to get in there down and dirty. So we can get all these, and man, what am I doing? Oh, because this is not solid. The option push pull. We'll always get
Randy
you.
says if it looks good, it is good.
Okay, now solid, solid. Solid, 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 solid. What am I missing here, guys? Or it already was. Okay, it already was solid. Okay, cool. So that one is done. Delete guides. So we have our little back area here done. So in this, particular case, and probably a lot of streets, you can see here, this sidewalk like angles up. And so it appears as though I have a really big drop off here where normally the sidewalk would be, slanted down towards the street, I assume for drainage purposes. But speaking of purposes, for the purposes of this model, we're not going to worry about that. So yeah, let's maybe just do the rest of the railings right now and then move on. So at the beginning of this, you can tell I made this piece of component so that because it's not rotationally symmetrical, but whatever type of symmetrical this is. So thankfully the model, the railings on either side, well, pretty much, we'll say they're symmetrical. You want a little bit of safety behind this little metal box, whatever that is.
Safety says, are you going to add those tiny pims on the ramp to stop wheelchairers from slapping? I have to look up what pims are.
Yeah, I gotta say, I do not know what a pim is, but yeah, if you look it up and let me know what it is, we can talk about it. Probably for this kind of stuff, I'll just use a texture for this, but maybe not. Okay, so let's see. I guess this is maybe, if I'm assuming that this is 18 inches, maybe I'll say this, caution strip is also 18. So I'll move this, a copy of this, 18. And then it looks like the railing starts right at the end of that. So I'll go back to my components because I made this basic component. Down on here, and yeah, we'll say it's just a couple inches off.
Okay, I gotta ask. I looked it up, and I don't see what a PIM is. Is it a acronym for something?
Maybe it's like John in Philadelphia, like it just means like thing. I don't know.
He says, I'm not sure what the correct name of it is. I'll look it up.
Okay, and then we're going to say it's same over here. It's 4. All right. We're moving this one over here. And so this is only 1.
We do have people chiming in on Facebook and LinkedIn.
Hey.
Welcome, everybody. We stream on multiple channels every Friday. And just to let everybody know, if you ever have any issues on Facebook or LinkedIn, just come over to YouTube and join the live on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, we've definitely gone back and forth of being just on YouTube or other platforms. In fact, the first SketchUp lives we ever did that were like these modeling sessions were only on Twitch. But we're no longer on Twitch, so you see how that worked out. But yeah, we're happy to be
different kind of audience
on the platforms today. Let's see. This doesn't really have to be precise, but I want to get some kind of, whoa, sorry, idea of what's going on here. because these are, how far apart? About 6 feet. That seems kind of far. Maybe I'll do,
Should it be about 4 feet?
sure, let's try 4. 4, 2x.
Maybe.
Fine, that looks fine to me. We'll make
Creative
everything else work
liberties,
around
right?
this.
Creative liberties.
Exactly. All right, and I'll do the same. Maybe there's a better process for this, but I'll do the same things I did before. 42 tall to here, and over green to the center of this, and down. 6 inches. 6 arc. And that was not the right direction.
It's not
well,
snapping.
here's your problem.
Oh, you're a little askew.
Little wonky, yeah. I think I can just move this over till it gets to here. Cool. And
That might make it easier to do your arcs.
yeah, got to get in line. Get in line. Wait turn, as my kid would say. Wait turn, get in line. Okay. Or online. Do you say online or in line?
What are you trying to? Oh, in line.
Like
I
if
would
you're
say
at
in
the
line.
bank and you're waiting.
In line.
In line. I think like Northeast people say online, right? Which I guess means something different now with internet, but
I know. I was like, the only time I've ever said online is when I'm on the internet.
chronically online or something. Yeah.
Of course, I'm from the Northwest and not the Northeast, so that might, make a difference.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. I guess internationally, people say probably they're queuing, right? You say on queue,
In queue?
or you say I'm queuing up. I don't know. 1.5. Again, we'll weld these, and then we'll do a follow me. Okie dokie. And make this a group. Delete the path. Paste in place. And then I'll do the same kind of situation here. Make these unique together so that I only have to do this once. Let's see. Circle from the middle. I think these are the same. And then we make sure, yeah. Push this up to the midpoint of this one.
John says queuing. We're good at
Queuing.
queuing in the UK.
Yes, there's a lot of pride around how well British people queue, isn't there? Which I have to say, I enjoy that pride because, yeah, there's nothing more frustrating than when people are not good at queuing. Let me make sure all these are solid. Okay, and let's do.
Having once lived in an Asian country where queuing is, pushing yourself to the front of the line. The thought of queuing like the Brits do seems different.
Yeah. Okay, so I have somewhat of a platform going here after 45 minutes. No problem. We can always turn on the speed aspect. Okay, for this part, I tried to take this photo as close as I could. Obviously, there's some perspective to side onto this, so I could just trace it, or at least trace the profile of this thing. So that's what I'm going to do here, which means I'm going to turn on parallel projection mode and go side on. Let's see. 4, right? This is the right way. And so this kind of arcs a little bit. Actually, I'll start off with just a straight up rectangle. When I'm tracing over stuff like this, I like to have a rectangle so that you can look for the little, I pointed to my screen to show you. You can see, hopefully on the screen here, that that little blue diamond says on face. That's what you want to see when you're tracing stuff, so you don't go off plane, which if you traced stuff before, that could have happened where you accidentally, kind of like when I was doing my handrail just now, you're a little bit off and then you're like, what's going on? Probably not in plane. So on face is the way to stay on plane. Switching my arc back to 12 sides here, and I'm going to try to match this. Okay, and let's see, we'll go from this one too.
Randy says we tend to queue up properly here in Canada.
Makes sense.
I think that
Good manners.
famous Canadian politeness has a lot to do with it too, right?
Totally. It doesn't go so far that way. Okay. Now I can get rid of this outside stuff. And I'll go ahead and do these little arms too. So let's see. Here, down. I'm not using my 3D mouse for this part because I'm trying to stay in parallel projection. So try not to orbit, which you'll see again when I do the match photo later on. Here, back to my arc. And maybe I'll do 12 again. I'm going to look for this half circle. This appears to be a half circle, so right here. And same over here. Half circle. And then these little guys, this one looks like it actually kind of comes down straight a little bit and then starts curving, so let's see.
Randy says, polite maybe, but wait till you see what happens when people that don't queue up properly.
So there is some kind of perspective in this photo. So I'm not trying to exactly match it, but
you're the one. You took these photos, correct? These are, you just walked down and.
Yep,
okay.
I did. So nobody to blame but myself. But
not that I'm saying anyone needs to be blamed, but I'm saying it's like this is you know, you made your own reference images.
Yeah, I intentionally took this, like I said, at this angle so that I could trace this particular piece.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to make into a component at this point. Make component. Tall part. Absolutely. Okay. Get out of parallel projection. So I'll stick this over here for now. From when we measured on the geolocation, I think this thing was about 30, which makes sense because there's, suppose this whole thing is 50, there's about 10 feet on either side. So that's what I'm going to say. That's 30. So let's see. So that I can align these properly is what I'm saying. Because they are at the very edge of this shelter part. So we'll say 10 feet. And over here again, 10 feet. And how tall do we think this is? Would have been nice if I had a scale figure in this photo. I should have waited till somebody was about to get on the bus.
Where's the mat scale figure?
Oh, I need to get him in there. Yeah, TomTom doesn't really help because he's not actually in real life here. Maybe this part that I traced is 12 feet tall. Where's this bus station? This is Grand Rapids, Michigan. Downtown Grand Rapids. And yeah, so I'm just going to say this part is 12 feet tall. So to resize this, I'm going to go into the component. Use the tape measure tool without the guide. Go from the bottom to the tallest point and say 12 feet. Do I want to resize? Yes, I do.
Ty says, I know good scale figure.
Yeah, it'd be helpful here, Ty. And let's see, how deep is that? I said 6 inches, but that seems about right. That's about right, which is about how close I'm going to get during this stream. So let's, this one I only went 10 inches. 10 feet. Okay, and then this I'm going to rotate into place. That's the right way, right? Yeah. And actually, I'll come back to that later. So am I back here? Yeah, so that's backed up all the way. Maybe I'll make this little base part too right now. That's backed up all the way to the curb there. So back we go. And actually, let's just stick this right here. And alley-oop. Centered. I'm going to guess that thing is 2 feet tall. So moving this up 2 feet. And then go into this component. Make this little base quickly.
Kegi says that's going to make the lower bit too small for people to stand under comfortably, isn't it?
Oh, because this is, well, let's see. Eight and a half feet almost. Should it be higher? I can make this base 3 feet instead.
Urban Story Studio says, I have a friend in Grand Rapids I've been meaning to visit. Now I have 2 reasons to go, friend and transit stop.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we can talk public transit. Yeah, love to have you out here, man. Urban Story Studio, brand new YouTube channel, but a great one. So definitely quality videos over there. Check it out. That's Eric Sargent, if you're not familiar, who streamed last week here. I think I even saw that he has, because I'm subscribed to his channel, a live stream scheduled for Sunday, this coming Sunday, just a couple days from now. So I would go and set a notification for that live stream, because it's always bound to be a good one when when Eric's at the helm. Eric and Aaron, they sound so similar, but yeah, that is definitely Eric. So check that out, certainly. And we are going to close this off. Maybe this kind of flares a little bit at the bottom. Maybe this is too big, but what are we gonna do? I want to make sure we have clearance for people coming in. That looks fine. Again, I want to make sure that it's just recognizable enough for somebody who's going to see the match photo at the end, which are we going to get to in 1 hour? We'll see. Gotta stick with us here on SketchUp Live to see how that goes. And we're going to bring this.
Wait till the end to find out.
That's right. You'll never guess what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, divided by 2. And we have our little dancing guys here. Oh, oh. Yeah,
Is that what they're meant to look like,
I have
or
no idea. Just that's what
Okay.
it looked like to me. Kind of those, they're at the car dealership and they inflate and they wail around.
flapping, flailing, inflatable arm flailing tube band?
That's exactly right.
Yep.
Does this make them look like they're flailing? Not really, but it's the best I can do. Okay. Let's make the little shade part. What do you call that? The shelter portion of the stop here. So it looks like it's kind of just an extension of the actual structural piece. So maybe I'll go, let's see, in here and just kind of pluck this out. Paste in place, turn that off. Push this over here, turn off hidden geometry. I'll make this a component. Shade part. No, shelter part. Not really a shade. Okay. And then I need one for the back too, so...
We use all the technical terms on these streams.
This is a good
Randy
way to
says,
do
I think
this.
they're all pointing towards an emergency. Over there.
Yeah, everybody, look over there.
Referring to your guys.
Mm-hmm. What's going on that way? They're creating a diversion. Okay. And this is just the same as over here. I guess I could flip it. Really, I don't think there's anything. It's going to be, symmetrical that'll need to be flipped that way, but I'll do that anyways. And then I think the inside is like glass that just goes straight down, that's used for like, the water kind of comes down here. Not that I'm going to model all this water catchment system. Is that what that's called? Gutters or, drain pipes. But anyways,
Yeah.
I think that just gathers all the water.
Those.
So, and I will be adding materials to this at the end, by the way. So for those material heads among us, hopefully that's good or interesting. Something else to look forward to. That's what I'm trying to do. Just teases for what's to come.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that this itself is not interesting, hopefully. But
Got to reach for that engagement, right?
that's right. Let's see. It doesn't exactly match, does it? And I'm inside something. No, but we can move it parallel, right, to this line. Not perpendicular. That's what I want. Connect that. Don't want any rain dripping on people.
Nope.
Now do we?
It would defeat the purpose of, a shelter.
Absolutely would. You're right. Okay, let's plop these little rivet things on there. So I'm going to try to use this same one here. I took the reference photo myself, so I might as well try to use it for more than one thing. Scale it up. Back to parallel projection. Try to line that up somewhat with what I did before. Looks pretty close. Okay, and then I will go into this component so that the changes are reflected, because I think these are the same on both sides of all all the little supports here.
So there is some uniform geometry to it.
Yeah. Which is good for using components. These don't have to be very detailed. So 6 sides. And these look pretty hefty. Maybe 3/4 is good. How about 1 inch radius? 1 inch. Okay, and I'm actually going to make this a component now. Bolt. That sound right? Who knows? 2. And now I'll just stamp these other ones. Nope. Stamp. 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 And this one I'll array again. Divided by 2. And then I'll just add a little detail to these guys. And soften. Okay, fine. Now I'm going to do this. Select all instances. And flip them up. Flip them on green with the copy modifier to put them on the other side. Check out how that looks in my situation here. That's some kind of overlapping there, so maybe we'll
Have you used these bus stations?
I gotta say, I have not ridden public transit in Grand Rapids. Yeah, honestly, I just don't go downtown enough. They don't run where I live. I live in the suburbs. And as with a lot of cities, Grand Rapids size, there's a lot of parking, which probably for an urban designer, not so happy with, but yeah, makes it so. I mean, Grand Rapids is a relatively small city, and there's there's always a need for public transit. I probably could get around a lot faster, and I really have no excuse for not riding the bus, but just haven't really felt the need to. So I probably should after this. I'm, representing it in 3D, so might as well see the real deal.
I mean, you could stand there and you could be like, "Hey," to anybody that comes up. I modeled this.
I'll show them the 3D warehouse link. I'll put this up on 3D warehouse after for people who want the model. Okay, that's fine. Like I said, we're going to okay. This is gonna annoy me if these are overlapping with the little glass part. So I'll just move it up a little bit, up and out of the way. And one thing that I forgot.
A component, if you move one, you move them all.
Exactly. Egg. Exactly. Excuse me. There's this kind of little cap thing on the top that I want to put on too. Flip this as well, just so it matches on the other side. And connect them. I think it sticks out a little bit. Let's see. Maybe hard to tell, but I'll just push it out like 1/2 inch. Just to give it a little texture on there. Okay. And And we're back. Okay. Let's see. Also, part of the back here is this curb that goes around this kind of glass enclosure part. Looks like it's the same on both sides. And so let's do that. Yo, okay, we're swinging around.
Transom says, has anyone seen that cool Art Nouveau metro station in Paris?
I don't know if I have.
I don't know if I
But
have
hey,
either.
drop a link in the forum thread or a photo of it.
Speaking of which, good plug for the forums. We announce the topic for every live every week at the beginning of the week on forums.sketchup.com. If there's any reference images or any discussion that people want to have on what we're going to model every week, you can go check out those posts.
Yeah, and forum is also a great place to ask questions, or if you have, any technical problems with SketchUp. There's so many people very knowledgeable and can help you out with questions of that nature as well. Great community and very active as well, which is what you want. So we're incredibly thankful always to the SketchUp forum community, certainly. These are not really like clean numbers here. I don't know how deep a curb like this normally would be. Maybe I'll just say it's a foot, and then still want a pretty clear walkway, I think. So maybe I'll just go right to the end of this ramp and say, actually, I know Aaron doesn't really use guides a lot, but I kind of find myself using them
People do
more
tend to
than
make
not.
fun of him for that.
Yeah, I get like if you're not used to it, but still to me, I'm like, it seems so.
Which is funny because
Quick.
on the iPad, I rely on guides constantly,
Yeah,
just constantly.
yeah, it's definitely nice to have. How far does this come out? A little bit more than halfway here. Okay, so maybe just a foot past the this guy. So actually, we'll say 1 foot. And then this was 1 foot wide, so this should just be to here. I suppose I can do another guide. Why not? We're
Why
guiding
not?
it up.
Yeah. It also may be a testament to his skill level as compared to mine, because he's so good at this. He just doesn't need guides, right?
Could be. Could be. Let's see. Add a little detail to this guy. And blah blah blah. Yes, we wanted the little glass partitions. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across that way, and they look like pretty close to the edge of the I'm looking at here. There's kind of a really flat base, and then there's just a straight up rectangle up. That's easy to model in SketchUp. Heck yeah.
Right?
Whoa.
Whoa.
As long as you don't
Fly
dive
into the
your-
model.
Yeah. Let's stay where we can see what's going on here. So I'll do this in context and make these a component, but from the center.
Randy says, I use guides everywhere just by habit. I end up with so many and then have to start deleting them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always where delete guides is always helpful. So we'll say 6 by 6. And this is going to be our component. Glass divider. And let's see, we'll move a copy from this midpoint down along the red axis to this midpoint, and we'll say, I said there was 5 there, right? So that's the way to do it. And then this is 1 5/8. Well, let's do it. 1 5/8. Nope.
It's very precise.
Yeah. It's precise whether or not it's the right. At least it matches the other side. That's what we want to go with. Okay. Delete that guide. Now let's go into our component. We're going to push it up a little bit. This is just from my memory of what this looks like. Actually, let's do a real 0.5 and then offset 2.
Ooh, Randy says, I wish there was a way of drawing a circular guide and not having to use an actual circle. So, another plug for the forums. If you have feature ideas, that is also something that you can post on the forums, because some of the features in SketchUp are ones that were proposed.
Yeah, and I will say the product team looks at the feature. These are thicker than that. At the feature requests portion of the forums. So you're talking to the people who work on the product, unlike us. Unfortunately, we use the product and we talk about it on YouTube, but we're not, we're not the super smart people on the team. So
we're just
believe
the
it or
creatives.
Yeah, no, that probably doesn't have to be said, at least for me, but let's see, maybe 1 inch. 8 foot up. Maybe that's too thick now. Did I do 1 before? 1.5. That looks fine. Okay. And then we have the little glass part. So let's see, is that about... Okay, here's my idea. What if we just still keep this one component? If we rotate this one, alley-oop, 90, and then boink, I'm stuck in the ceiling. Let me out, let me out, let me out. There we go. Offset to, what's a reasonable glass? Nope, that's gone now. 1.25. Push this. Is it going to make it all the way there? Okay, no. That's fine. I have to make this one. I'll have to do 2 things, actually. Make this unique. Make this unique. This one, we can just say bye-bye to the glass. Bye-bye to the glass. That's like M. Night Shyamalan's Unbreakable.
Yeah.
Or would that be...
Oh, Transom says, I use guides all the time and put them on different tags. Started using guides in drafting class in high school.
Smart, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that way they're still there, but they're not clogging up your viewport and... Viewport? I don't know, your model, and you're not... Because for what happens to me is and maybe if you make a lot on iPad too, is I have all these guides going and then I forget which ones are for which, and then I'm like, was that the right thing? Oh, I forgot I missed a little thing on this railing, so I'll go back and get that in a second. But it looks like these glass pieces are fine, obviously not with the materials yet. I'll go in and fix this now. Okay, so we want to go into this one. Again, I'm going guides here. And I want to do one. Let's see, I want to come from the center. I guess I can just inference this. So I don't need to be in this context. I could be here, X-ray mode. So I'm adding that little, kind of as the same with this. There's a little, I'm sure there's a, industry name for what that bottom part of the handrail is. But I'm going to say the bottom part. Let's see if I can inference this in a clever way. Get it in the middle. Or maybe...
Transom says high school for me was back in the Mesozoic era.
We got a prehistoric viewer on our hands.
Mm-hmm. We always do have a variety of people come join us on these lives, so.
This was a 2-inch one, right? Move this. I think I did it 4 inches. So 4. Push it this way to the middle. And I guess if I want to follow me, I can go from the center and right arrow locks to the red. Right red R. Recently was Talk Like a Pirate Day. So I'm a little late on that, but right red. Well, that shouldn't be like that, should it? Oh, this is just a reverse face. Reverse. Okay.
That makes it a little better.
Weld, and we're gonna say come over here. This follow me, which is over on the large tool set. And let's see. Then I can select all this, make that a group. And solid. Make sure that, yeah, okay. Outer shell, now we got one sturdy looking thing going on there. Fine.
It's looking pretty good. It's almost looks like a complete thing.
Yeah, getting there. I think the scale seems about right? I've been kind of eyeballing everything, so sometimes it's like all those eyeballs turn out to be, in one direction, and then it's too small. That's what happens to me, at least. But it looks like it's pretty good. So what else? I do have some other photos with like the details of stuff. I have a bench. I have a little kind of information screen here. I'm not going to go too crazy, but maybe I should try to get this thing in there. I'll add these benches. I'm going to use 3D Warehouse for that. And then maybe let me know what else you want to do. Do you want me to put this detail on the top? That could be somewhat interesting to model. Should I move on to these little accessories over here? Little, where you get your pay for your fare. Let me know. But in the meantime, I'll go find the benches on 3D Warehouse. Doop. What can we find for you? Bench. Benchy is what I want. I love a live component, I gotta tell you. Oh, here's a really nice bench. Yeah, here's one thing. These benches, for whatever reason, have the individual benches, individual seats. Some people call that hostile architecture, I think they call it. Hostile? Something like that. Anyways, we're just going to do one straight bench here. Not this style, but I think we can configure it with the live component. Keggy, going back to the Mesozoic Yeah, using a chisel to model in 3D is a lot harder than using SketchUp, certainly. Let's see what kind of options we have. Probably height. So I think these mostly were made in metric, so we'll do 18 inches for the seat height. We'll do width. I'll just kind of drag this and see how far we can go. Maybe a little bit longer, 85. That looks fine. And I don't really like the wood. Let's see what else we got. Wood only. Yeah, that's not wood only. Oh, it's connecting. Sven would go with the structural supports. I think I just saved before I did this. Oh no, it's fine. Hey, wood. It was just connecting to the server, because that's what these live components do. They connect to the server for the information. That means that they can be live updated. This actually should go a little further, shouldn't it? We want to make sure that that's safe. Nobody's slipping through here. So let's do that. Hidden. And I know it's going to mess up our spacing, but this is for safety, folks. This is more important than spacing.
Right.
I guess speaking of eyeballing stuff, I could eyeball this one too. Is that going to mess up what we got on the bottom? We'll see. Looks okay. Looks believable. Okay, so let's get back to this bench.
Looks like it fits. Yeah, like it is supposed to be there.
Yeah, it stops people from falling off the edge, and that's what matters.
That it does.
Okay, backrest, armrest, this is all fine. And we'll deal with materials in a second. So, let's see. There was another bench over this way. Okay. Hey, PK is on here. Pat Kelly. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. What's up? What's up with you? We're firing away on the bus stop over here. We're I don't know. I kind of ran out of things to say there. Never
You hit
mind.
your word count limit.
Yeah, I'm maxed out. I'm maxed out today. What's next? Structural. Doral, Florida. Alberto, thanks for tuning in. Good to see you. Yeah, maybe this little piece. So, let's see. Should I try tracing this? Let's give it a shot. We got time, right? I don't think the match photo should take too long, he says. But yeah, this is a interesting looking piece there. Yeah, this is where like not being in 3D for a few months will kind of
mess with you a little bit.
Be a little like okay, this is an interesting piece, and I'm sure with some like solid tools I could get this relatively easily, but I could also, because it looks like, here, let's get in here. Obviously it's circular here, and it looks like it kind of comes in and then turns into a circle. And it probably looks like it's the same piece down here too. So it's like gotta be a name for that, whatever that is. But yeah, let's try it out. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of where to start. Maybe I should just start. Okay. So,
Ooh. Gil says, hey there from Mozambique.
whoa. Very cool. Thanks for tuning in to SketchUp Live today.
Dubs31 says, tension rod, model a square and round the end. Copy below.
Model a square and round the end. Okay. This is not here, and then I'll go is this the right way to do this? No. But is it the way I'm doing it? Yes.
Ahmad says, use cutters.
Yeah. Good call. Just gonna get rid of that guy. Doop de doop doop doop. Okay. And we're flying. You know what? One thing after picking up SketchUp after a long time is very helpful to me. Zoom extents. Always a good shortcut to have on hand. Shift Z.
Especially when you're working with a 3D mouse and you're not used to all of it.
Agreed.
Yeah. First few times working with the 3D mouse, my mouse would, I mean, not the mouse, but the model would just move off into the distance and disappear. And I'm like, where are you going?
Come back,
and I didn't
come
know how to get
back.
it back.
Yeah.
So Zoom Extends was such an important tool in that experience.
Okay, so let me actually, I'm going to make this into its own component. Structural, what did somebody call it? Tension rod?
Turnbuckle or tension rod?
Tension rod base. And then get this flat on the ground. Because since this is up at an angle, it's kind of like messing with my head. Oops, I wanted to... I'll just bring it right down here. Okay, so the idea for that piece, I know people at home are like, this is easy. But it's kind of like a saddle thing around the side, right? It's like a circle and then it goes that way.
I just see Lego pieces when I look at that.
Yeah. Should just snap right into place, right? So if I start with a circle from the center here, and then offset it.
Transom says the turnbuckle is the thingy with the threads on it.
Okay. That sounds good. I'm just going to kind of add a little reference plane over here. What's going on? Oh, here we go. Okay, so that was not in context, but that's fine. It kind of goes like this, right? This, and then like back like this. And flip along here. Okay, hopefully this will make sense once I actually get something going here. That's weld this first. Push this. One. And then to the other side. In. One. And then it also curves in this way. So if I make this a group and hope it's solid, no.
Randy says, I've had problems with switching between isometric and standard camera view. The view just zooms off into the ether and you have to fiddle around with the back to where you were.
Yeah, I think it depends on, probably your field of view. And camera
overall
position
familiarity with it.
Yeah. I don't know what dictates the difference between when you switch between them, to be honest, but okay. Now is it solid? Yes. Okay. So now we want something that is gonna kind of cut into that starting above that circle.
Transom says it's looking great, man.
Oh, thanks. So let's see. If I just trying to kind of align this so that I can get an idea of proportionally where the cutting parts would go. So this is a group, right? Yeah. This down to here. And then we want this to be from here on face still. I don't know, here?
Sure.
Is that too aggressive? I don't know. I guess we'll do the operation and see. Do the operation like I'm a surgeon over here.
Yeah. No, I was picking up what you're putting down. You're good.
Let's get the scalpel out here. The scalpel of subtract. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna look good or if I'm just gonna say it's good enough, which is also important sometimes, especially in surgery. In my experience with surgery, good enough is what I'm looking for. Solid tools. Oops. Subtract this from this one. Interesting. Not exactly what you would think of as what that piece was, but again, good enough perhaps.
Good enough for what we need, right?
Yeah. I mean, maybe you could go down a little bit further. Let me see. If I literally just scale this down. I'm using K for back edges to see that scale grip through there. And then turn that off again. Let's just give that one a shot. Again, I'm using subtract, so I'm selecting my cutter first and then going to solid tools subtract from this one. Excuse me, and then I'll just maybe move this up a little bit. Try to fudge it. And then what I want is, let's see, I'm going to make a copy of these. I guess I don't, whatever, this component's still in place, so I'll keep that as a component. This is going to explode, and then it's going to be made a group. And then I want to trim this from this. So let's select this, solid tools, trim. Ah, very good. We got something funky going on, so we're going to say solid inspector to help us out.
Safety says, why don't you try it with FFD tool?
What is FFD tool?
I don't know.
Okay. This. Trim this. And then now should be. Wait, was this not a component? This was not a component. Isn't there like a replace components with groups? Let's see. We'll just go back. Explode. Make component. What was that called again? Tension rod part. Tension.
Turnbuckle. Hackberry. Turnbuckle.
Turn. Buckle. Very good. Up. That's good. Okay. So the idea of making this bottom part a group is that solid tools will change a component from a component to a group, meaning that the changes won't be reflected in the structural component. So I'm going to make this a group, and again we got to go add this line so that the bottom is in there, and then hope this works. That's fine. We'll just take this and put it in there.
Yeah.
Here we go. And then we're going to go. So I'll just go back here. Why not? Move it along this way. Here we go. Is this going to break stuff? Yes.
Maybe.
All right. Well, we can cover that up. But anyways, what?
Urban Story Eric says, can you nest two groups inside a component with the solid tools, then solid tools those like a container?
I think no, because a solid, you can't have nested instances in a solid. Here, let me just check it out real quick.
Safety says FFD is a tool that can help you create organic and curved shapes of simple ones. I'm assuming that's an extension.
Yeah, that sounds right. That it's an extension. Try to actually just do another one over here. Make group. Make group. Make component. So I think the only reason this is not a solid is because it has nested instances. So you would have to explode it, or what am I saying? Yeah, you can't have nested instances when you're doing solid tools. But I think, is it Enerot solid tools? I think it's by Enerot, but it's a solid tools extension that maintains componentization. I don't know, over after the solid tools operation. So that's a possibility to look at. Okay, so hypothetically, if I go back to this, I could rotate this one on the red from the center of this to match here. Lock on this. I can't really think of a good way to form this into a from a square to a circle, so I'm just going to do it like this. And then this is a component.
Ooh. Eric says, I meant to perform the solid tools operation on 2 solid groups inside of a component container.
Oh, right. Yeah, probably. Probably do that, right? Looking to people in the chat who are more in the know. So, for example, this is a group, and this is a group. We make a component out of these, and then
Transom says, stitch it.
if I subtract, do lappy dappy doo. Eric, you did it. You did it again. Yeah, so the way to have the solid tools operation reflect across components is to have the objects in, you do the solid tools operation within the component. That's the way. Next stream, I'll remember that and do that. Let's see. To get these lined up, maybe I should just make it unique. And red.
Eric says it works. Just tested it. Perhaps I missed the initial goal.
Yeah, no, you got it.
And then Transom says to go from a circle to a square.
It is 3:45, so I don't know if I'll be able to get to that or not. Because I still have to do materials and the... Where am I going? Flip-de-doo. And the match photo too. So... Is that not part of the... Paste in place. And then yeah, so I'll have to catch up on that later. Come on, why does this not want to inference the center of this? Is it because it was whatever, I'll just estimate it. Here we go.
Ahmad says maybe auto folding would help too if we connect the corners of the square to a circle.
I think this is not in the same context right now because of the way I have the but I could show hypothetically. Square. And then circle. And then like this kind of thing. How am I thinking of this? Would you have to like, you know, explode this arc, explode curve, and then individually move these? Is that too like labor intensive? I don't know. Anyways, we'll get him next time. I got to finish this guy up with 15 minutes left in our time here. So let us just put this in the right spot. A. Loop around here. Get it in the center of this one. Or around the center.
Center adjacent.
Guess
Not
I
quite the
want-
right direction, but
No. And is it because okay.
Charver says autofold the circle.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll give that a shot in a sec. Okay. Let me just kind of plop a couple of these extra pieces in here to make this look a little more filled out. These can go bye-bye. And then I will put materials on and do the match photo.
Yeah. Brad says maybe not inferencing the center of the circles in turnbuckle brackets because the circle got blown apart into curves.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. Let's see. I want to do this on the outside. This is this little kiosk here.
Randy says, whenever I draw a circle, I always do a fine center on it. Later, if needed, it's much more easier to connect things up.
That's a good call. It goes what? A little bit over halfway up. Do. So I'm just gonna. I've been using solid tools a lot.
Yeah.
This stream, and I'm gonna keep doing so.
I mean, that's why they're there, to be used, right?
True. Very true. Okay, subtract. Sorry, I'm not really talking a lot right now because I'm trying to go fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are just relatively simple shapes, but hopefully when I throw some materials on there, they will look somewhat presentable for whatever we're doing. Here we go. This piece is just a little card reader portion of this. Which is rounded on the corners. Here and back in there a little bit, and probably want to center it with this. Why is it not? All right. Let's do this little kiosk boy over here.
Safety says, how many sides can a circle be? Sometimes I don't tell it's rounded enough when I export my model as an STL file.
I think a circle can be, well, let's see, can you do 100? I think you can do 999 sides. I don't necessarily know if you'd want to, especially if you're doing follow me or stuff like that. But yeah, we usually, a lot of the people who model on the SketchUp YouTube channel would say, or like on SketchUp Campus, use some number that is easily divisible by a couple different divisors, meaning like the default's 24, right? So 24 can be divided by 6, 4, 3, 2, so that you can have kind of clean intersections and rotations with your circle, versus if it's like, 86 or whatever, or 999, it's not as easy to, connect geometry correctly. But yeah, if you want to jack it up, you can, but it's just going to create a lot more geometry in your model, which could lead to, performance problems.
Yeah.
Let's move this up a little higher. Nope. Move. And here we go. This kind of pops out a little bit. Circle around here. Oh, this is actually down further. And then there's a little punch in here. Probably a square, right? And I'm just adding like these, obviously not very special or accurate details, but once there's like ambient occlusion and stuff in here, these little pieces will help to give it a little more depth. So that's what the goal is. And then the last one is a little circle emergency thing. Oops. Yeah, one thing too is if you make your circles small, they won't be able to have, because I think I still had 999 in there, and it came up with a thing that said that you can't do that. Partially because SketchUp on super small scales can't create really small geometry, but you could always have a component, scale it up really big, make the geometry in there, and then have the scaled down version with all the detail. I should probably not have this be loose geometry. And oh, that already is good. This one I think is a little bit taller than that, so I'll put it up here. And this.
Safety says, good to know. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anytime. Make this a group. I'm going to do another solid tools for this little cutout here. And I think it goes kind of same way as this one was, right? I'm going to move this up. And let's do one more solid tools for good measure. I think this will probably be our last one. Okay, and then there's this like electrical box on the end, which I'll just quickly say is like this big. and 6 feet tall, and there's a little side box over here. Again, let's just add a little mini detail. Excuse me. 1 inch, good. Okay.
It's looking great, man. Honestly, it really is.
Cool, thanks. Okay, we've got everything in here. Let's throw some materials on. So let's see. In this part, we'll throw on some concrete. That's not what we're looking for. Something more like a sidewalk. It's kind of like a sidewalk. Let's see that little warning part. Where does that go? I'll finish doing the concrete. This one.
Ooh, John says save.
Good call.
It's probably been a minute.
Yeah. And I guess I could just do all these, huh? That's good. This piece, I think, is like wood. It's like the little piece that stops the bus from scraping along the side. So I'll position this here.
Ooh, Seife says, is there a way to contact you? I have some video recommendations and I don't want to be annoying and spamming them under comments under videos.
Yeah, you can message me on the forum. You can DM me on the forum. Or, yeah, then I can get it to whoever you want.
Yep. All of us are on the forum, so you can find us there.
Yeah.
And we're also very active on the forum, so.
Yeah. Aaron probably a lot more than me. Are you on the forum a lot?
Every other day or so.
Yeah. I love being on there, but I just, you know. There's always something. Let's see. So I'm just gonna use one of these patterns for the little like warning strip here. And position. I like using these patterns because like before photoreal materials, I didn't really use them too much, but just like a simple edit to the material with like janking up the normal and changing the color of it can work pretty good to actually maybe we'll make it a little more maybe orangey or more saturated.
It looks pretty attention getting.
Yeah, that's the hope. I probably should turn on my, if I'm putting materials on, turn my environment. And this day that I took the photo that I'm trying to match was kind of a cloudy day. Face style, photoreal. And I am geolocated now, so that's good for, excuse me, use sun for shading. This actually was 9:23, 11:30 a.m. So we're getting real close on here for when we match in the photo. But we might need to change our environment settings to have it lighter, at least for when we are putting these on here. Uh-oh. That's not going to work. Well, maybe it will. Well, maybe I should just do it up and down. Position. People still get the idea.
Yeah, we're picking up what you're putting down. So
Yeah, warning, warning, warning. Okay. Let's see, I'll just do all these and then go back and change this. So we want metal for these pieces. I think I'm going to use the oh, this is not even grouped. It's not good.
okay, he says, "Danger, Will Robinson." Eric says, "Got a jet. Happy Friday, all. Hope to see some of you on Sunday."
Yeah, totally. Check out Eric's stream, Urban Story Studio on YouTube. The link is in the previous stream to that if you want the direct link. And yeah, he's got the stream coming up this weekend, so definitely watch that because it's going to be a good one as usual. Okay. I'm going to do another metal. Sorry, I know this is probably a little tedious, but I think hopefully it will pay off when we do the match photo.
It's all part of the process, right?
Yeah. Let's see. I think these parts are metal, but they're blue, so I'm going to go duplicate this one, make it blue, and rough, and put it on thing, do here and here. Okay, this is supposed to be glass, so let's go glass. Okay, and same thing here. Glass. This is metal but black. So we're gonna go duplicate this one again. Make it nice and dark. Here we go. Metal it up, rough it up, and paint all connected. And that's good. Same with these two unique ones. Sample. Here we go.
Safety says, "Does plugins slow down the performance in any way? Like the more plugins you have, the more lagging happens?"
I know when loading, it takes longer to load all the plugins, like when you first start up. Especially with new versions, like you could get a plugin that's not compatible, like if it's an older one, so that could cause problems. But I don't necessarily know that like having a lot of plugins on directly impacts your performance. But maybe somebody in the chat can correct me if I'm wrong on that. Let's paint these guys. This can just be the straight up regular metal. These two. Okay, this one too. And whatever, fine.
Colin says, right, the plugins are loaded when you make the first document. After that, it shouldn't make a difference.
There you go.
Safety says, sorry for asking a lot of questions, but I'm trying to get the most out of my time here.
Oh, totally. Please never apologize for asking questions.
It is
Ask
why
more.
we're here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just say this is plastic. All connected. Edit. This is what I do a lot. Just use, like, I know there's so many materials on 3D Warehouse, but this one really I'm just trying to get, you know, close enough. This one's black. With blue on top. And actually, take that, and then this can be this. And we're almost there, folks. Almost into the match photo portion. Let's toss some is that too much? Probably. Oh, whatever. This is fine. Fine for what we need. Okay. We're looking good. Let's get all these
looking great even
out of here. Oh, thanks. And I'm just gonna throw these on a reference tag. Not in geolocation. Dude. And delete. And this one. Not that, but this. Okay. Here we go. We are getting there. Okay. So we want to go from kind of around the angle from what the photo was taken, which is pretty much around here. Let's put Tom up on the bus stop here. He's waiting patiently for the silver line to come through. So we're kind of around the right angle of the photo that we took, and we're gonna go camera, match new photo, and go in here, and it's gonna be one of these. Let's see.
Ahmad says, well done, Matt.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Ahmad, particularly. So for this part, I'm going to use the match photo panel here. I'll turn the model off, and I'm using the perspective of the buildings. So the way that match photo works best is where you have the corner of a building coming towards you. And so then you can use the perspective lines as you see me doing here to match up. The further apart that the lines are, the more accurate the perspective is. I may have to adjust it a little bit, but we'll get there once we get the model back in. So I'm using the top of the building and more towards the bottom. The ground kind of changes slope, so I'm not using anything particularly on the ground if I can avoid it. I say as I'm about to use something on the ground. So down here, it looks like this sidewalk is, you know, because I want something far away. If I do this here, then the differences in perspective are not going to be that great, and so the accuracy of the perspective on the camera is not going to be as close. But we can, like I said, we can adjust it later. Once you get those perspective lines in, you have this axis that you can move around. So I'll switch my model back on. Get my axis to be, oops, put this back. Back somewhere around here. I'll scale this until TomTom looks about the right scale. Maybe I'll move him over here so I can see. He should be a little bit taller than this girl. Okay, we'll get this kind of in line here. And I can see that it's a little bit off with that. No matter. I'll just kind of tweak this just a little bit. Every photo that you have is going to have some kind of distortion in it. So I'll blame it on that. And then I'm going to go to my styles. Right now you see that the photo is kind of overlaid on this, but I want to see the actual model itself. So styles is where that is. Edit, and then under this one, foreground photo on match photo is what I want to change. So now I have my little bus stop in here. I'm going to change some of the face settings. Let's see. Maybe this is a little lighter edge color. And profiles 1, maybe. Sometimes I like the look of profiles on and edges off. Oops. And that's one thing to watch out for, is that, of course, it's only matched to the photo from this one perspective because there's not another photo. So, yeah,
John says, never seen match photo used at the end of a build.
yeah, there's a lot of different ways to use it. That was my hope, was to show kind of, this maybe should be over here. Yeah, some unique ways to visualize using match photo. So let's make sure that my shadow boys are going okay.
Kegi says, excellent work, Matt. Nice model. Thanks for the stream.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed. As I tweak my styles here quietly to myself. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That's pretty good. We'll have to lose a parking spot to get this back to my bus stop narrative, but yeah, I think that's a good stopping point. I know we're kind of 15 minutes over our normal allotted time, but thanks for sticking with us if you're still here. Yeah, this was fun. Yeah, my idea for the stream kind of changed around a lot because I was like, do I want to do like the actual temporary thing itself? Do I want to like, I don't know, use match photo for the actual bus stop, which I thought about, but you know, I don't know, it was easier and there was a lot more details to get done that it just was easier to do from the reference photos. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Hopefully you saw something that was cool. Yeah, we definitely want to say thanks for watching. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube and you haven't liked this video, you know, like, subscribe. We do live streams every Friday. We put videos out every day on YouTube, so subscribe there to find the latest and greatest in SketchUp. And yeah, also give this video a like. Doesn't cost you anything. And hey, you're still here, so
Yep.
you have to, I gotta believe that you have liked it so far. Yeah, is there anything you want to say, Donovan?
Just thank you, everybody, for coming to hang out with us. We know it takes time out of what you're already doing to, you know, be part of this. So thank you for spending that time with us.
Totally. Yeah, we appreciate it. And yeah, hope you have a fun weekend and a relaxing time. So Yeah, thanks for watching, folks, and we'll catch you next time.